Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 415 based on novel. So let's start. I announce that the once-in-a-100-year-old auction of the Yarrow clan will begin now. As Yarrow Yun's light and sweet voice slowly fell, the pupils of countless people in the entire auction hall shrank tightly, and their eyes became unprecedented. Hot and crazy, staring at the crystal table above the auction table. Next, it's the appetizers of this auction. Please feel the first auction item carefully. Yarrow Yun felt the fiery gazes and such a lively atmosphere from all around. Slender jade hands gently swayed, and immediately the jade hammer gently tapped on the crystal table. The ground above the auction table shook slowly, and layers of mist emerged. With the sound of Yarrow Yun's move, a dazzling white light mist appeared on the entire auction table, and the dazzling white light stabbed the eyes of the strong people present, causing them to take a short time. Lost vision, but only lasted for a few breaths. After a while, on the spacious auction table, next to the crystal table, a jade cage slowly poured into everyone's sight. On the jade cage, there are strips of silver patterns. The patterns are like ancient and mysterious stripes, revealing the power of endless suppression. Inside the jade cage is a strange brown creature, which slowly entrenched like a disc. People can't see the real form, but above the disc, a pair of extremely cold eyes emerged, staring at the countless figures outside the jade cage with fierce light, and a fierce murderous aura emerged. What is this? Warcraft. Seeing the appearance of the first auction item, some of the strong people present couldn't help but look at each other. Strange, it seems that after this guy appeared, the surrounding temperature has increased a lot. Is it an illusion? Xiao Yan shook his head slightly. The jade cage was covered with a very tyrannical confinement, and no power could invade the slightest. This thing is a fighting spirit, and its rank has reached a rare heaven level. I believe that all the strong people present will not be unfamiliar with the word fighting spirit. Yarrow Yun's beautiful eyes looked around, and the voice sounded. Fighting soul? It's actually a fighting spirit. Hearing Yarrow Yun's words, there was an uproar in the auction hall. For the many powerhouses present, the powerhouse with a fighting spirit is probably not 1 in 1,000. First, the fighting spirit is too rare and hard to find, and secondly, there is not much time and energy to cultivate the fighting spirit. However, for the fighting spirit, the higher the level, the more obvious its advantages are. As long as the fighting spirit reaches the prefecture level, it is enough to cause countless strong people to loot. Because the fighting spirit is the baby that directly enhances its own strength. When the same level of powerhouses practice the same fighting skills, the existence of the fighting spirit is enough to subvert the entire battle situation. The classification of fighting spirits is divided into attack, defense, and so on. Similar to the fighting spirit of the undead king of the undead in Xiao Yang's body, now it is at best an offensive fighting spirit at the peak of the earth level. It is undoubtedly far from the heavenly fighting spirit in front of him. There is still some distance. Miss Yarrow Yun, don't give a shit, tell us what this is, right? The appearance of the fighting spirit undoubtedly caused a commotion here, and some strong people couldn't help but say, obviously their hearts were already beginning to stir. This item is called Nether Flame Python. It belongs to the snake family. It is an attacking fighting spirit. It was taken from a lava mountain range by our seniors when they traveled to the mainland by chance. The origin is clear, so you can rest assured. This soul is unruly, even some 8-star fighting immortals are difficult to tame, and because of the fire attribute, if it cannot be tamed, I am afraid that it will cause some dark flames. No one can tame it, so I can only reluctantly give it up and put it up for auction. Yarrow Yun eloquently explained the details of the Nether Flame Python, alleviating the concerns of the strong present. Hey, this little doll is smart, but it's too absurd that no one in the medicine family can tame this excuse. At this moment, some old men in the front row had such questions in their hearts. Brother Xiao Yang, this is a good thing. If we can get it, it will be a huge improvement for you and Sister Kaylin. Zuna frowned, obviously aware of the extraordinary fighting spirit, not to mention the value of this level of fighting spirit is no less than that of immortal art. Let's take a look first. Xiao Yang looked helpless, obviously he didn't have the money right now. Hee, look at me. Seeing this, Zuna smiled strangely. The 2 small dimples were raised slightly, which was very cute. Obviously Xiao Yang underestimated Zuna's current identity. A girl with real power can only say that wealth can rival a country. Because this is the first auction item, it is a special case to bid with gold coins. Yarrow Yun said with a smile. Auction with gold coins? Is there such a good thing? Hearing Yarrow Yun's words, Some interested powerhouses in the back couldn't help but their eyes widened. After all, in Yarawang City's auctions, there have been very few gold coin auctions since ancient times. The starting price is 100 million gold coins, and the price increase shall not be less than 10 million gold coins once. Everyone, please. Although Yaoyun is extremely coquettish and charming, his grasp of the atmosphere in the auction is just right. 100 million gold coins? Hearing Yaoyun's voice just finished, there was a commotion in Du, and 100 million gold coins was obviously not a small amount. 100 million gold coins. But it's not a loss after all. Xiao Yan nodded slowly. Obviously he could sense that there might be something special in the fighting spirit. That kind of flame pattern around his body was difficult for even Xiao Yang sensing the mystery. I am afraid that even the power of the medicine clan will not be able to solve the snooping, so I put it up for auction. 200 million. Hearing Xiao Yang muttering to himself, Zuna raised her hand slightly, and said indifferently, suppressing all those powerhouses who had increased their prices by 10 million gold coins and 10 million gold coins. What? Xiao Yang couldn't help but be slightly surprised when he heard this voice, but he felt that the voice was extremely familiar, so he couldn't help but look back. This time, I saw Zuna's little tiger teeth showing slightly, with a smile on his face, looking at him harmlessly. For ordinary forces, 200 million gold coins can be considered as savings for many years, but for the ancient race standing at the top of the Doyun continent pyramid, it is just like a drizzle. After Zuna spoke, the voice in the rear became weaker. Although no one could recognize Zuna, the fierce pressure on his body made the strong man in the rear chill. Possessing such strength, I am afraid that it is a child of a certain super race, so others do not dare to offend at will. This little baby is quite familiar, but I have had a relationship with the younger generations of many sects on the Doyun continent. I am afraid that it is only a person from the ancient clan. Above, a red-haired old man looked at Zuna's figure and couldn't help muttering slowly. Ancient people. 300 million. Listening to old Yang's opening, a red-haired, black-faced man behind old Yang couldn't help but muttered slowly. Both belong to the Yang clan, and they are quite warlike. In the past, they resented the ancient clan very much, but now they are naturally willing to help them. I didn't expect that even the Yang clan would take action. Looking at the strong exits of the Yang clan, some lucky people in the back also gave up the price increase completely. The ancient race's character of protecting shortcoming is not something they dare to contend with, and they only fight one by one. Soul, not enough for them to tear their faces. 400 million. Seeing this, Zuna looked away from Xiao Yang. Looking at the red-haired and black-faced Yang clan man, a trace of chill emerged. 500 million. The red-haired man said. 600 million. Zuna continued casually. This young lady is really rich and powerful, so there is no need to fight for this thing. The red-haired man clasped his fists and smiled, and immediately had the smell of being taken advantage of. What a good Yang clan, but actually made my family Zuna spend 400 million extra in vain. Although Xiao Yang was kind on the surface, he was quite ill at the behavior of the Yang clan in his heart. Guest number 77 bought the Netherworld Flame Python with 600 million gold coins, but there are still bidders. Seeing that the noisy voice in the auction hall was slowly fading away, Yaoyun also smiled sweetly and opened his mouth. It is to mobilize the atmosphere of the scene. However, Yaoyun was quite surprised by the price of the first auction item. Although the heaven-level fighting spirit is rare, it now exists in the realm. Its power has been greatly reduced, and few people will buy and bid. 6. The price of 100 million gold coins has undoubtedly exceeded expectations. Moreover, as for the Nether Flame Python, according to the conservative estimates of the powerhouses in the clan, this fighting spirit has a lot of secrets, but the attack power is too fierce, and the powerhouses in their clan cannot detect it, so they put it up for auction. The auction hammer fell gently, indicating the successful bidding of the first auction item. Congratulations to the 77th guest who successfully purchased the heaven-level fighting soul Nether Flame Python with 600 million gold coins. Waiting for the auction to end completely, we will hand over the auction items to you personally by our powerful medicine family. The rest of the procedures are also it will be completed after the auction. Yaoyun smiled and said professionally and fluently. The people who can enter here are all people with high profile, so the Yarrow clan is naturally not worried that someone will default on their debts. After all, this is the Yarrow clan. Even if there are some renegades, the Yarrow clan has countless ways to go to collect the debt. The rarity of the first auction item undoubtedly caused the heart to hang high in the human body at the venue. Of the 5 auction items, the first auction item alone is so rare, and the remaining 4 can't help but make people even more look forward to it. And with such a release, Xiao Yan also successfully ignited the atmosphere of the entire auction. The first auction item only lasted for a few minutes until the auction ended, and it was purchased by Zuna. Although 600 million gold coins is not an astronomical figure, it was swindled by the Yang clan in vain, which made Xiao Yang and the Yang clan even more disgusted, but Xiao Yang later found out that, let alone 600 million, it is even a billion gold coins. It is difficult to measure its value. Next, let's start the second auction item of this auction. I believe everyone will be very interested in this auction item. The voice of the medicine cloud just fell, and the crystal platform was flickering suddenly, and layers of mist also emerged from the ground. The original jade cage gently disappeared, replaced by a rather cold white mist. The ground in the auction platform is not closed. Every time the auction item appears and leaves, it emerges from the ground through special means. This is also to protect the absolute safety of the auction item. What is this? The appearance of the second auction item undoubtedly touched the hearts of the strong present, and suddenly a group of figures in the back couldn't help but be surprised. Wong buzzing. It smells so good. What's the smell? Before the fog dissipated, bursts of seductive fragrance swept out from the auction table, and it was refreshing to smell. The second auction item is a medicinal pill. This pill is called Phoenix Nirvana Pill. It can help 8-star fighting immortals improve their chances of breaking through. Although it cannot be used for strengths above the late 8-star fighting immortals, it is also a rather precious medicinal pill. And its rank has reached the peak level of the 7th rank. It is said that it has some subtle effects on the powerhouses who cultivate fire attribute powerhouses. As for the effects, I don't know for a while because of Xiao Yan's stupidity. However, since it is related to the word phoenix, it is still unknown whether this medicinal pill has something to do with the phoenix family as in the legend. Xiao Yan said slightly, the meaning of the words was very clear. However, the strong people present had to admire Xiao Yan's ability to speak well. When she said this, the strong people in the field were staring at the stars, and couldn't help but thoroughly spy out the medicine. On the auction table, the Phoenix Nirvana pill was entangled by layers of blue energy shackles and dead seals, and an extremely delicate jade bottle concealed its aura. It can be seen that a looming phoenix soul shadow slowly flickers out around the medicine pill, revealing endless mystery. Immortal rank 7 pinnacle elixir? Phoenix Nirvana pill? Xiao Yang heard the words and couldn't help shaking his body. With his tyrannical soul power, he naturally realized that there was a trace of Phoenix family's power in this elixir, because at this time Xiao Yang's body contained the dragon family. The power fluctuated violently, and it responded to it all at once. The dragon and Phoenix clans responded to every call. Zuna, this thing seems to be of great help to you. After sighing, Xiao Yang suddenly turned his head and whispered to Zuna. For some reason, Xiao Yang always felt that this Phoenix Soul Shadow was similar to the Saint Flame Golden Crow that Zuna had previously displayed. En. Senior 9 Profound Fire Lord's Reincarnation Seal, including Saint Flame's perception and control, has a vital relationship with Jinwu. And according to some of my obscure memories, it seems that Saint Yang Jinwu and the seniors of Ju Xianhua Master have a deep connection with the so-called Phoenix clan. If I can get this medicine pill, I must be able to break through the 8 stars in a very short time, strive for reincarnation, and spy on the mysteries. Zuna's beautiful eyes flickered, and her tone was very firm. Okay, I understand. Xiao Yang nodded solemnly, and then secretly wrote it down. Brother Xiao Yang, Zuna knows that you are good for Zuna, but you should keep the treasure in your hands for the finale. This thing, even if you can't get it, it doesn't matter. Zuna naturally knew that the only things Xiao Yang could get his hands on were Shengyan Zihuo and the original ancient dragon source crystal, but with such precious things it would be a pity to come to auction the medicinal pills. It's okay, it's worth it. Xiao Yang said with a grin. No. Brother Xiao Yang, I'm so angry. Zuna looked serious. Okay, I promise you it is, but you, a rich lady, can give it a try. Even if it doesn't work in the end, we can try our luck after the grand ceremony. Xiao Yang was helpless and could only do it. We're not robbers. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, Zuna couldn't help smiling sweetly. Seeing that Zuna saw through his little plan, Xiao Yang hurriedly changed the subject. This auction is based on barter. You can increase the price as you please and take out your favorite treasure, and there will be a joint appraisal of the elders composed of our strong medicine family, so as to determine its ownership. But remember, each strong person has only one chance to bid. Everyone, please. Xiao Yan said with a slight smile, and there was a hint of expectation in his voice. Although the mysterious effect of Phoenix Nirvana pill can be learned from heaven and earth, from ancient times to the present, few people have been able to really covet its secrets. However, this kind of medicinal pill is a real treasure for those strong people who have the blood or strength of the Phoenix family. If they have it, they may be able to get involved with the legendary Phoenix family. The Dragon Clan is like a giant in the world. Although the Phoenix Clan is not comparable to the Dragon Clan, it is also as famous as the Dragon Clan. The degree of terror is self-evident. Anything that is contaminated with the Dragon and Phoenix Clan will have a skyrocketing value. At this moment, the hearts of countless people in the entire auction hall are slowly shaking. They are hesitating, should they take action or choose to wait and see. If the bet is right, then the carp will undoubtedly leap into the Dragon Gate, but if the bet is wrong, the treasure will be wasted in vain. For a time, many strong people are also stagnant. I have a roll of Immortal Order 6th grade medicinal herbs. I exchanged a volume of holy rank fighting skills. The whole auction was quiet for a while, and after a while, it was like a pot being exploded. The endless voice resounded throughout the auction hall, but these guys took out things are a bit too low level for the 7th grade medicinal herbs, but the high-level powerhouses in the first few rows have not moved. They seem to be waiting for the price increase of these jumping clowns. This treasure is in their pockets, and they disdain to compete with it. This is the difference between ancient races and ordinary forces. Old Shen, this is a good thing. The pill contains the Phoenix energy, and I'm afraid it can really draw out a trace of the Phoenix energy. At that time, with your means, I'm afraid there will be an extremely weak chance to spy on the mystery. Looking around one after another lightning-like price increase, Shen Hong's heart was hot, and he couldn't help saying, I know, sit me down. But now it's not just me who discovered the mystery of this medicinal pill. The grey-robed old man in front of Shen Hong shook his head and said, his eyes were also looking at the position of the ancient race. Obviously the old guys noticed it. The mystery of this medicine pill is just about to move. Although a treasure like Phoenix Nirvana pill is tyrannical, no one has ever been able to decipher its inner mystery. It happens that the old man has a leisure prescription in his hand, so the old man is willing to use a scroll of Immortal Level 7 grade Earth level prescriptions and 7 orifices exquisite heart. In exchange, after the breath, on the seat of CS sect, the grey-clothed old man in front of Shen Hong and Shen Yi opened his mouth slightly, and said in a rather indifferent voice, as if it was just a random test, and he did not express too much heat. Immortal rank 7 grade medicine prescription, 7 orifices exquisite heart? It is said that this thing is a rare treasure for pharmacists, because it is a recipe for refining the body. If the body is destroyed by someone and only the soul is left, the body can be re-refined with the superb technology of the pharmacist. The existence of 7 orifices and exquisite heart can make one's body strength to a higher level after recovery, and there is even a slight chance to break through the current shackles and step into the next realm. Yaoyun slowly faced the old man in grey from the CS school. She threw it, and muttered to herself at the corner of her mouth. She naturally kept the famous name of Chichiao Linglong in her heart. 7 orifices exquisite heart? What a terrifying method. This kind of prescription may have a fatal attraction to the Yarrow family. Xiao Yang suddenly shook his head at Zuna when he heard the words. Obviously, this level of bargaining has exceeded the limit of what they can come up with. Hehe, old monster Shen Shi, I can't believe that you, as proud as you, actually brought a strong person from the sect to attend the Medicine Clan Festival in person this time. It's really been a long time. But I also want to get involved in a treasure like Phoenix Nirvana pill. The old man is willing to exchange the 55th ranked immortal weapon in the world, the wolf-toothed beacon fire order. After resting, an old man from the ancient race slowly got up and said with a smile. This guy smelled of fireworks all over his body, but the breath revealed from his whole body was extremely terrifying. Lei Qianren of the Thunder Clan, the late 8-star fighting immortal. Not only this old guy, but the 5 ancient clans, plus the old monster Shen Shi from the CS sect, the leader of the team is also the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortal. Lei clan powerhouse shot. The 55th ranked immortal weapon in the Great Thousand Worlds, the Wolf Fang Beacon Fire Order. It is said that this thing is the control order of a wolf species. If you have it, you can order an entire wolf army, even some 8-star fighting immortals. Late-stage powerhouses can only temporarily avoid the edge. It's really a good trick. Some figures in the back couldn't help muttering to themselves, this kind of precious treasure really made them have no desire to compete. I am willing to use a 7th grade immortal rank medicinal pill, Fengyuan Dan. A scroll of fighting skills. In addition, there were endless shouts, which were immediately recorded by Yaoyun. When the sound in the entire auction hall slowly became quiet, a pale old man appeared out of thin air next to Yaoyun, the auction platform, with a smile on his face and a naive look. The old man's Chuanyi, the task of identifying the baby this time, is handed over to me. The old man just walked out and immediately took the golden paper from Yaoyun's hand, left here after resting, and returned to a medicine at the place where the senior clan members gathered. They carefully screened the many treasures that had just been bid, and selected one of the most satisfying ones. I can't believe that even Yarrow Xuani, the second elder of the Yarrow family, has appeared. This guy is the leader of the Yarrow tribe. Countless geniuses and resources are in his hands. Except for the first elder and the Yarrow tribe's patriarch, who can hold him down, in the Yarrow tribe the status among the clan is unparalleled. Wait a minute, I just don't know who this treasure will end up with. One after another whispers sounded from the auction at the rear. Facing the price increase of these powerhouses, they even had the desire to increase the price. No, the right is like watching a play. After all, the capital they have is not worth mentioning compared to this ancient race. Don't worry, this will be useful to you, and it will be returned to you later. Xiao Yang looked at Zuna, who was sitting quietly, gently touched Cheong's nose with his palm, and smiled slowly. Brother Xiao Yang, don't do bad things. Zuna didn't take it seriously, but she sensed an unprecedented solemnity from Xiao Yang's words. No, no. Xiao Yang smiled helplessly. The time passed quietly. The strong people present, some of the guys who just bid for the Phoenix Nirvana pill, also had their hearts beating at the same time, because they knew that within a few minutes, the real winner would be competed. A treasure like the Phoenix Nirvana pill is actually more involved in gambling, but there are some people who have a higher heart than the sky, and they also want to give it a shot. 5 minutes later, Yarrow Xuani's body descended here, and immediately looked at the strong people present with a smile on his face. After the consultation of our Yarrow family elder pavilion, the winner of this auction item is the old monster of CS sect, Shen Shi. Yarrow Xuani said lightly. Hearing this, the old monster Shen Shi slowly got up, looked around, and then cupped his hands slightly, and sat down after taking a good breath. Congratulations to the CS sect, Your Excellency Shen Shi, for successfully bidding on the immortal rank 7th grade pill, Phoenix Nirvana pill. The same series of transactions will be held after the auction. Yaoyun said slowly, his voice quite loud and sweet. However, even if many of the strong people present knew that this medicinal pill was taken into the bag by the CS sect strong people, they would not dare to do anything wrong. After all, no one who is blind would dare to engage in some conspiracy and tricks in the territory of the Yarrow family. There is no such situation. It's different from setting yourself on fire. But if you leave the medicine clan's territory, it will be a different look. Although the baby is good, you have to live to enjoy it, right? 2 auction items have been auctioned in succession. I believe that everyone is looking forward to the auction of our medicine family more and more, right? However, this item to be auctioned next is a bit special. After Shun's breath, as the auction of Phoenix Nirvana pill ended, Yaoyun suddenly opened his mouth, and there was a rare fiery fluctuation in his voice. What exactly will this third auction item be? Immediately, after the embellishment of the 2 auction items, the ancient 5 clans, including those who are only second only to the ancient races and the younger generation, have a strong interest. Obviously, the next auction has a fatal attraction for them. Phoenix Nirvana pill was obtained by CS sect. Is it a late 8-star Dozian Shenshi? Xiao Yang murmured slightly, and there was also a bold idea in his mind. In any case, this medicinal pill must be obtained, even if it provokes the entire CS sect for it. Everyone, please see. This is the 3rd treasure in this auction. This time, Yaoyun patted his palm lightly, and the ground under his feet suddenly cracked, and a milky white light group slowly emerged, completely filling the entire field. Severe cold and scorching hot breath. With the appearance of the light group, even before its full appearance was revealed, countless people in the first 3 rows of powerhouses, including Xiao Yang, shrank their pupils tightly and couldn't help losing their voices. This is a medicinal material. To outsiders, it is extremely common. Perhaps very few people know its name, but I believe that many alchemists present should know it. It's the elixir, the ice essence and fire spirit fruit. A short voice slowly poured out of Yaoyun's red lips, but for a while it stirred up a storm. What? Ice marrow fire fruit? The legendary elixir? How is that possible? In an instant, countless strong men couldn't help but take a deep breath, their minds violently rolling over because of Yaoyun's words. Immortal herbs and immortal medicines belong to the same category of medicinal materials, But medicinal materials of this level already possess the wisdom that is not inferior to human beings, and the medicinal materials themselves are a peerless treasure that cannot be measured by value. Most importantly, this immortal herbal medicine is an essential medicinal material for refining the 8th grade holy rank and above. The holy rank pharmacist has reached the level of perfection, and the medicinal materials needed have naturally reached a level that is unimaginable for ordinary powerhouses. Even the holy rank medicinal herbs have unpredictable, terrifying powers. After a short breath, the light around the light group slowly dimmed, and an ice body that was pierced by a sliver of ice pix emerged, and inside it was a red fruit engraved with countless mysterious lines. The red fruit is like a mass of mud, but even with the isolation of the auction table and the obstruction of the elixir, countless rich life breaths and an extremely large force slowly pour out, indicating the supreme value of this elixir, and even after staring at it for a long time, the excess energy turned into a pink beast dancing around its medicinal materials, which is extremely mysterious. This thing is a good thing. Elder, it seems that we must make a move. The medicinal materials that the clan has prepared now are almost the same. With this immortal medicine, we can ask the clan chief of the medicinal clan to refine the holy elixir and add a strategic foundation to our race. In the front row, 2 people. The figure in black said softly. The 2 belonged to the Soul clan. The elder looked indifferent, and there were countless wrinkles on his cheeks, but there was a murderous intention in his gloomy eyes. There was a rather young man beside him. The worms in the worms can't see the light of day. The second elder of the Soul clan, Hun Shuzi, the late-stage strength of the 8-star Doze Yan, and the late-stage Soul Mu, the late-stage strength of the 7-star Doze Yan who came to participate in the grand ceremony, is a high-level pharmacist. This thing, I believe those old guys in the clan will also like it very much, but asking the chief of the medicine clan to refine the holy pills, excluding the huge payment required, the medicinal herbs and prescriptions are a bit painful. Shuzi's dark eyes swept away at the other old men. Once the other elders made a move, he would also do it without hesitation. Old Shen, this thing can't be missed. At the CS sect, Shen Hong said with a frenzied expression. Although he could not refine holy pills yet, he was confident enough, at least for more than 100 years. For thousands of years, he can definitely step into the holy rank, so it is also very good to collect medicinal materials in advance. Don't worry, this thing is a hot potato, we will wait and see how it changes. The old monster Shen she seemed to have gathered a lot of his arrogance because he had just won the Phoenix Nirvana pill, so he was not ready to take action this time. Senior Shichen, this thing, do you think we need to take action? In the direction of the Stone Clan, a man with a simple face couldn't help but said to the old man with his eyes closed in front of him. The old man's body was as deep as a mountain. An unfathomable terrifying aura emerged, terrifying. Well, look at me. The old man Shichen opened his eyes, and an unfathomable and profound aura emerged like a vast ocean. The great Emperor Shichen of the Stone Clan, the late 8-star fighting immortal, is said to have a very high status among the Stone Clan, and he has learned extremely well, and his strength is enough to rank in the top 5 of the Stone Clan. 7-star fighting immortal late stage. On the other side, in the location of the spiritual race, there is an old woman and a lonely and proud shadow. Teacher, it seems it's time for us to act. The woman in the back whispered, leaning gently beside the old man. I know the little baby. After hearing this, the Spirit Clan elder returned to the auction table. Lingxi, the old Lingxi, the strength of the 8-star fighting immortal in the late stage, and the mastery of Lingxi fighting skills, even in the face of some ordinary 8-star fighting immortals, they are not afraid at all. Shangaling Zishi, the late stage strength of 7-star fighting immortals. Thunder Clan. Lord Thunder King, we must not miss this thing. The descendant of the Thunder Clan said slightly. The voice fell, and the deep eyes of the old Lei clan were locked on the auction table. Lei clan, Thunder King Lei Qianren, 8-star Doze Yan late-stage strength, known as one of the most powerful thunder attribute attacking people in the clan, can be said to be the real representative of Lei clan, plus Lei Luo Chen, 7-star Doze Yan late-stage strength. The last one was the Hua clan who had just harmed Xiao Yang and the others. Ancestor Huayun, the strength of the 8-star fighting immortal in the late stage, the strength is extremely terrifying. Yang Xian. At this moment, the ancient 5 clans, plus some arrogant people, also took the most intense bidding for this peerless elixir. For a time, the atmosphere of the entire auction hall was like ignited explosives. Just burn. Hehe, your enthusiasm is really high. Since this is the case, why is the third auction item starting now? The auction method is still barter, and each guest has only one chance. Yaoyun continued to maintain an elegant rhetoric, but under his control, he slightly exuded a trace of fire spirit fruit that belongs to the ice essence. The scent of the fairy medicine shocked everyone. I made a Hola-level fighting skill scroll. A volume of immortal rank 6th rank medicinal prescription. The auction just started, and the shouts from the back continue to emerge. It's such a terrifying method. The ancient races and those forces whose status is only second to the ancient races have not yet taken action. This kind of thing has been fired to such a high price. Zuna listened to the precious treasures being carried out one after another. Suddenly, the small mouth pouted slightly in surprise. Wait, there seems to be something wrong with this immortal medicine. Xiao Yang didn't have time to pay attention to other things, but after the Emperor Yanjie in his body felt the faint aura released from the ice essence fire spirit fruit, it became violent. Shake up. Wong buzzing. After the blink of an eye, that faint aura actually streaked into the Emperor Flame Ring at a speed that was invisible to ordinary people, and it didn't take long for it to run directly to an ancient scroll inside the ring. That's the remnant of the third holy flame on the holy flame list. What is going on? Xiao Yang could only notice the changes in the ring in surprise, but couldn't do anything. Hey! With a sound, a faint force of the ice essence fire spirit fruit directly slammed into the ancient scroll, and a profound message was immediately transmitted to Xiao Yang's mind. The 8th rank heaven-level peak elixir, the reincarnation elixir, requires all the medicinal materials that belong to the list of elixir, including ice marrow and fire spirit fruit, 30,000-year-old magic whalestone, and earth mattress. A few simple words. Those words, like a thunderbolt from the blue, deeply hurt Xiao Yang's heart. I accuse you, so terrifying? After a while, Xiao Yang's face darkened, and he couldn't help but smack his tongue secretly. When he got half of the residual picture, Xiao Yang secretly searched for the medicinal pill that devoured this holy flame, but there was no result. Now, he was lucky enough to encounter the ice essence fire spirit fruit at the auction here, and a trace of power was released. It was only by chance that he touched some of the obscure energies of the residual map, and the information of this medicinal pill was leaked. However, now that there is the third-ranked pill that swallows the holy flames, this collection of medicinal materials has become a big stone in Xiao Yang's heart, which is quite heavy. Although the ice essence fire spirit fruit was right in front of him, Xiao Yang asked himself that with his and Zuna's background, it would be extremely difficult to bid for it. In addition, there is the so-called 30,000-year demon whale stone. The demon whale stone is the lifelong essence of the ocean overlord deep-sea demon whale, and for the ocean warcraft, the 30,000-year lifespan undoubtedly indicates that its strength has survived 3 calamities safely and has reached a truly terrifying existence. Survive 3 calamities? What is that concept? That kind of power is just as tyrannical as humans have gone through the triple reincarnation calamity. I wonder if Xiao Yang is now only a mere 7-star fighting immortal. Should he fight directly with a strong man who is comparable to the triple reincarnation robbery of human beings? Furthermore, the rank of this kind of pill reached the peak of the 8th rank of the holy rank, and with Xiao Yang's current medicine refining skills, there was obviously still a long way to go. There is also the last medicinal material, which Xiao Yang has never heard of, but looking at its literal meaning, it is probably a very difficult thing to find. Brother Xiao Yang, are you alright? Zuna seemed to notice Xiao Yang's abnormality and couldn't help but ask with concern. It's alright. Xiao Yang smiled slightly, then slowly raised his hand and raised his tone. I am willing to offer an ancient dragon source spar as a bargaining chip. Xiao Yang said softly, no matter if he could do it or not, he still decided to give it a try. If you are unlucky, try your courage. If the courage is not good, it is not bad to try luck. Ancient dragon origin crystal? Listening to Xiao Yang's bid, the noisy voices of countless powerhouses behind him gradually became quiet, and they all stared at Xiao Yang in unison. I have to be good. The ancient dragon source crystal? The name of this kind of treasure is probably familiar to the strong, and the value of the ancient dragon source crystal is extremely extraordinary, and it has directly crushed the auction chips that the former strong men took out. After all, if you get a piece, it will be tempered with the inner dragon blood essence. The body is enough to crush the powerhouse of the same level. I am willing to give out a heart of spiritual veins. The soft eyes of the old Lingxi of the spiritual clan were slightly projected towards Xiao Yang, and he said after a while. For Xiao Yang and Zuna, even based on her experience, it is unheard of, but the fierce breath of these two people and the treasures they can take out are definitely not like ordinary people. But when did such a tyrannical force appear in Doyun continent? The top of the pyramid of Doyun continent has always been firmly controlled by the 7 ancient clans. The heart of the spirit vein? With the bid of the old man of Lingxi, there was a commotion at the scene. The Spirit Clan has a natural advantage that cannot be compared among the 7 ancient clans, creating spirit veins. And the heart of the spiritual vein is the core of a spiritual vein. With the heart of the spiritual vein, it is enough to create a spiritual vein full of energy and power in the world for future generations to enjoy. If the number of spiritual hearts is large enough, it is even possible to easily create a treasure land that surpasses the Yunling Mountains. I think that the Yunling Mountains took 3 spiritual hearts to forge it, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth has been prosperous for 10,000 years. With countless geniuses, this is enough to explain the tyranny of the heart of the spiritual vein. Since the spirit race has taken action, then our spirit race will also come to intervene. My soul clan is willing to exchange a volume of intermediate-level immortal fighting skills as a bargaining chip. Standing up slightly, Hunk Suzy glanced at the old man of Lingxi, and immediately opened his mouth. Intermediate immortal art. I also ask the guests of Hunk Suzy to explain the specific use of fighting skills, so that our elder pavilion can make a better judgment. Yaoyun said with a frown upon hearing this. Hehe, everyone, don't be in a hurry, and listen to me slowly talk about fighting skills. This fighting technique was created by our Soul Void Patriarch. It is called Soul Melting Technique. It can fuse other people's souls in a short period of time, so that the power of one's own soul can break through the current shackles in a short time, and it can also separate other people's souls afterwards. And there will only be some fairly mild sequelae. And the biggest benefit of this fighting skill is the alchemist. There should be a lot of alchemists who have reached the pinnacle of the immortal rank among the pharmacists, who are struggling to enter the holy rank, right? If you have this fighting skill, you can temporarily increase their soul power, and have the soul power of quasi-sacred rank to refine medicine pills. I believe it will be extremely easy for them to advance to the future. Hun Shuzi Wei Wei opening up, it seems that this rolling fighting technique is specifically aimed at the medicine family. Forget it, these lunatics. After hearing the words from the Yang clan and some strong men with lingering fears, they also lost interest. After all, even the entire Dodi continent is owned by the medicine clan, and the medicine clan's heritage has only had a handful of pharmacists since ancient times, and they have not even broken through the double-digit existence. Spending a lot of money to buy a medicinal herb may not be worth the money. For a time, the competition for the Ice Essence Fire Spirit Fruit actually became a stage for Xiao Yang, Lingxi Laoshi and Hun Shuzi, but I didn't know who would have the last laugh in the end. Dare to ask if there are any other guests bidding? With Xiao Yang and the 3 taking out such terrifying bidding chips, Yaoyun looked around and said. There was silence after the sigh. Please wait a moment, because the auction items are special, so we need to identify the bidding chips in your hands in advance, so that our elder pavilion can make a final decision. Please, all the guests who still intend to bid on the Ice Essence Fire Spirit Fruit, please come with me with your own bidding chips. The second elder Yarrow Shwani pretended to have a deep smile, and immediately stepped a little. Next to the seats in the auction hall, there were beams of light. The door gushed out. I'll come when I go. Xiao Yang nodded to Zuna, and immediately stepped out and disappeared into the door of light. The whole body was wrapped in the door of light, and after the breath, a noble golden house that was airtight emerged, apparently for waiting. The golden house is completely sealed, and no power can penetrate it. I think it is the means of the medicine family, so I can only wait for it slowly. About 5 minutes later, the second elder Yarrow Shwani showed a slightly apologetic smile and appeared here. Obviously he was here with Xiao Yang, and he had already gone to the quarters of several other powerhouses. Hey, little brother has been waiting for a long time. Brother Xiao Yang, please take out the ancient dragon source spar and let me examine it carefully. Yarrow Shwani didn't show off too much, but said directly. Why, Elder Yarrow is still afraid that we won't be able to repay our debts. Xiao Yang thought it was a little funny. He thought that this Yaozu auction would not protect the privacy of the auctioneer at all, and it was due to their arrogant strength, but now they are still doing this. One out. Brother Xiao Yang, don't get me wrong. We don't need any law and order in the medicine clan, because our medicine clan is the best law and order. Checking the auction chips is just to prevent some unscrupulous people. Brother Xiao Yang is also requested to cooperate. Yarrow Shwani said. Xiao Yang didn't say much, just took out an ancient dragon source spar, and immediately wrapped it with his own flame, slowly paving the air, but he noticed something from Yarrow Shwani's words. In other words, it seems that the medicine is not very quiet at midnight these days. Wong buzzing. Long Yuanjing just appeared, and suddenly a dragon soul with fierce energy roared away at Yarrow Chuanyi. That kind of fierce attack was quite terrifying. Definitely. Brother Xiao Yang can take it back. You can go back to your seat in the auction hall. Later, our elder pavilion will decide the final winner. Yu Yin curled up, and many strong people also returned to the auction hall one after another. Everyone has been waiting for a long time. After the screening of our elder's pavilion, it was decided that the winner of this ice marrow fire spirit fruit is brother Xiao Yang. Yarrow Xuani just appeared, and suddenly an old-fashioned tone emerged, and the voice was extremely loud. Out, his eyes locked on Xiao Yang Dao. Xiao Yang. Hearing this voice, Hunk Suzy couldn't help shaking his head slightly, and he didn't say anything. I never imagined that a race as strong as the ancients would actually be compared by a nameless generation. It's really embarrassing. Seeing this scene, the old monster Shen Shi uttered a strange voice, and the meaning of the words was obvious. Teacher, this? The fresh and beautiful woman beside the old Lingxi heard the words, her eyebrows stood upright, and she said slightly angrily, CS sect has been dissatisfied with the ancient race for many times. If it wasn't for the fact that there is a peak alchemist of the 7th rank immortal rank in the CS sect, and the secret support of the Holy See, I am afraid that it has been completely obliterated by the ancient race. So arrogant and domineering. 11er, don't be rude. It's just a lackey. Old Lingxi scolded him severely, and didn't take it seriously. Old Lingxi, you. Hearing the words of old Lingxi, Shen Shi roared. Old monster Shen Shi, please restrain your words and deeds. This is the Yarrow clan. If you are like this, I don't mind suppressing you here forever. Seeing the arrogance between the two sides, Yarrow Xuani said with a dignified aura. Just a little interlude. After the edification of 3 auction items, this auction is slowly coming to an end. But before the next auction of this auction item, please allow Yaoyun to show off this little bit. Yaoyun is indeed a real auctioneer, and every word instigated the voice of the strong present. This guy is a very business-minded woman. Xiao Yang couldn't help laughing when he heard Yaoyun being so articulate. In addition, the success of the Ice Essence Fire Spirit Fruit made Xiao Yang quite happy. Because Xiao Yang only hugged the attitude of trying it out, I didn't expect that I was actually auctioned by myself. However, what Xiao Yang could not have imagined was that the genius powerhouse of the Medicine Clan who obtained this Dragon Origin Crystal would be his strong opponent in the Medicine Clan festival soon after. Oh! Hearing this, Zuna squinted slightly and took the initiative to leave Xiao Yang some distance, her little lip biting her lips tightly, quite dissatisfied. Of course, the most beautiful person in the world is still my Zuna. Xiao Yang looked at Zuna jealous and comforted immediately. After all, Xiao Yang naturally didn't know that within a few minutes of Xiao Yang's departure, Zuna set herself up against Yaoyun, and the girl would inevitably be brooding about some things, such as her figure, or some of her ex-girlfriends. Where the bulge is raised, Yaoyun's almost perfect figure is more attractive than Zuna's youthful and mature style. I think you all know that the Great Thousand World divides fighting skills into many categories. Among them, after the Holy Rank fighting skill, it is the category of Immortal Art, and the Immortal Art rank has 3 ranks, large, medium and small. Although there is only a difference in one word, its power is quite different. Yaoyun deliberately sold off. This has something to do with the next auction. Many strong people present did not understand the purpose of Yaoyun's words, and they began to figure out. In the Holy See, after the Holy Rank, there is no such rank as Immortal Art, but it is commensurate with Forbidden Art. The strength of Forbidden Art depends on the strength of its strength, but the Forbidden Art performed by the Holy See powerhouse is Huxian. Techniques are generally tyrannical. In recent years, Dakian World has also introduced some things that a small number of people know about. Immortal Arts category ranks still exist, but Forbidden Art scrolls are not exclusive to the Holy See, similar to our ordinary powerhouses. Cultivation to obtain Forbidden Scrolls. The Forbidden technique has no specific grade, but judges the strength according to the strength of the caster. It is the same level as the Immortal technique, but it can be called the Forbidden technique, which can undoubtedly prove its tyrannical power. The word Forbidden technique is enough to truly surpass the realm, enough to compete with the world, and even kill the reincarnation. And the next thing to be auctioned is a scroll of forbidden skills that is enough to compete with immortality, or even surpass immortality. Its level, after the strict judgment of our high-level medicine family, has already reached a level comparable to the Great Immortal Technique. It's named Heavenly Sad Rainbow. The high-pitched voice accompanied by the last 4 words was unusually loud, slowly lingering in the entire auction hall, making the strong present feel like thunder. This video will end here.